Okay, on this side of the review guide, we have to identify which member of the parallelogram family is pictured based on the only markings that are given, and then we have to find the length of QV in each one of these diagrams. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to first look at the first shape, and we'll notice all four sides are equal, and that's the only thing we know. Yes, a square does have four sides equal, but you have to also know that it has a right angle, and it doesn't. So you cannot say this is a square, this is a rhombus. So we have a rhombus, and QV is this bottom segment here. QV is the same length as this side, which is 27, so we can say the length of QV is equal to 27. Going over to number 2, we know that we have one set of sides that is parallel and the same set is congruent. So this is a parallelogram. And since in a parallelogram opposite sides are equal, QV is opposite of 17, so QV is equal to 17. And going on over here, let's see, this has opposite sides parallel, and that's all we know. So this is also just a parallelogram. So if this is a parallelogram and I need to find QV, QV is this segment here. So we need to find this part. Well, one of the properties of a parallelogram is that the diagonals cut each other in half, which means the diagonals bisect each other. So if this side is 9, this side is also 9. So the length of QV is going to be 18. All right, going on to number 4. We have opposite sides are equal, which makes it a parallelogram, but a parallelogram with a 90-degree angle is a rectangle. So this shape, number 4, is a rectangle, and QV is right here. And to find QV, we're going to have to use the Pythagorean theorem. We have a right triangle right here, right triangle, 6, 8, blank. Now some of you might know that's a 6, 8, 10 right triangle. If you didn't know, you have to do 6 squared plus 8 squared is equal to c squared, which gives you 36 plus 64, which is 100. So c is equal to 10, the square root of 100. So that length QV is 10. And over here, number 5, we have opposite sides equal. All sides are equal, so we know that's a rhombus. But a rhombus with a 90-degree angle is actually a square. So this is a square. QV is this diagonal. So if you remember back to the triangle unit, these are 45-degree angles because in a square a diagonal cuts it in half. So we got a 45, 45, 90 triangle. So our two legs are 5, and our hypotenuse is 5 times the square root of 2. So this is 5 radical 2. So the length of QV is 5 times radical 2. Again, if you didn't remember the 45, 45, 90 ratio, you can do 5 squared plus 5 squared is equal to c squared, and we'll get 25 plus 25 equals c squared. 50 is equal to c squared. C is equal to the square root of 50, which then would reduce down to square root of 50 becomes the square root of 25 times 2, which is 5 radical 2, which is what we got. Okay, going on over here. Again, we have to identify which member of the quadrilateral family is pictured based on its markings, and then write and solve an equation for x. Well, we have one set of parallel sides and one set of congruent sides that are not the same as the parallel sides. Therefore, it is an isosceles trapezoid. So this is an isosceles trapezoid. So in an isosceles trapezoid, DC and AB are given. DC and AB are the two diagonals. the diagonals are congruent. So we will set DC equal to AB as our equation. So since DC is 6x minus 28 and AB is 4x plus 38, we just substitute those in. We'll subtract 4x over here, and we'll get 2x minus 28 is equal to 38. Add the 28 to the 38. 2x is equal to 66, and therefore x would be equal to 33. Okay, over here we have a rhombus because of the 4 equal sides, but a rhombus with a right angle is actually a square. So this is a square. In a square, we know that all these angles, all these small acute angles are 45s. So that just took care of our equation. We have 4x minus 25 is equal to this 45-degree angle. 4x minus 25 is equal to 45. So we can add the 25 to the 45, which gives us 70. Divide the 70 by 4, and we end up with a 17.5 degree angle, or x is 17.5 degrees. Okay, going on to number 3. The only thing we know is opposite sides are equal, so that's a parallelogram. So we will name this a parallelogram. We have opposite angles are equal. So if opposite angles are equal, we can set up the equation 4x is equal to 2x plus 70. Subtract the 2x to the 4x, we'll end up with a 2x equals 70, and x is equal to 70 divided by 2, which is 35. Going over to number 4, we have a parallelogram with opposite sides equal. And if we have a parallelogram with diagonals that are perpendicular, we know this is a rhombus. So we will label this as a rhombus. And to get x, we will just use the Pythagorean theorem because we have a right triangle. X squared plus 8 squared is equal to 11 squared. So x squared plus 64 is equal to 121. Subtract over the 64, and we get 57. So x is equal to the square root of 57, which is approximately 7.5. And finally, we have a set of congruent adjacent sides and another set of congruent adjacent sides. So this shape is called a kite. And in a kite, we know the diagonals are perpendicular. So we have a right triangle. So we can set up the equation that these two angles have to add up to 90, or these three angles have to add up to 180. So we have a 90 plus an x plus 3x plus 25 is equal to 180 degrees. We can subtract over the 90 and get x plus 3x plus 25 equals 90. Combine the like terms. 4x plus 25 is equal to 90. Subtract the 25 from 90 to get 65. Divide by 4, and we get 16.25.